Something had struck me as odd about our planet. When you look at every other species on our planet, they all control their weight automatically. The only exception was us. And any animal unfortunate enough to be fed by us. I just couldn't understand why we were the exception. Why did we require willpower and everything else did it on autopilot? So I applied the only relevant skill I had, which was looking at evidence. And I found there was very little evidence for the standard eating advice we are normally given, and there was a whole stream of evidence which had been largely ignored. In fact, what we have been told about nutrition is dangerously wrong.
Nome da lakram rakkal. Natanga yung no
Heart disease.
tutuk, so heart disease, yeah. Tintin,
Liver disease.
liver disease, asthma, yeah.
Diabetes.
Diabetes. Nama na yung diabetes man. Probably half the people here have diabetes. Yeah? Diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, kidney disease, all what we call chronic diseases. When did those diseases start? 70s.
80s.
So before that, people were dying from nakun
Hepatitis.
hepatitis, pneumonia,
TB.
TB. Well, they're all the mulkurumala. These are the ones that came with the Europeans. Bacteria, infectious diseases. If we go back further, balanay natil ngay balandabunna.
Ya kangatil ya kabyan ay kadalak. Kangatil ya kangatil. Bunda minananwalkan. Palading ka nga lang kayo. Accidents malakan. Look tuyul ko wait turkan baru lupan
What's the main?
Old age. Old age na. Wawa.
This is levothyroxine. I take one a day for my thyroid. This is atorvastatin. It's for my high cholesterol. This is fenofibric, tizanidine, duloxetine. I take that for anxiety. Hydrocodone, cyclobenzaprine, gabapentin tablets that's supposed to make your brain process pain in a different way. This is also for my thyroid. This is for my neck pain. These are muscle relaxers. And that's my medication, which I think is more than enough. My mom struggled with weight her whole life. She created me to be an emotional eater. Somebody was picking on me at school. Come on, let's go get an ice cream. Something happened good in school. Oh, let's go out and celebrate. We'll go to Mickey D's, you know. And I ended up doing the same thing with my kids and my grandkids. My mom finally developed the Alzheimer's and the dementia, and I saw the progression of the disease from start to finish. And you know, I forget things now and I can't think of words, and I start thinking, oh my God. You know, I'm the same way. I've gotten to be the same way. You know. This is a vicious cycle that needs to be stopped. Kim, my daughter, she has arthritis. She has lymphedema. She has hypothyroid. Her daughter, Kaylee, is 9. She has celiac disease. Barry's children are 5 and 4. Barry and Lauren, my son and daughter-in-law, they have a daughter, Abigail, who's 5.
Abigail, you want to come back with me? Okay, sweetheart. Just step right up here.
She has autism. She's nonverbal. She has epilepsy. She has central sleep apnea.
No.
She has digestive problems.
Any trouble urinating, any trouble with bowel movements?
She has constipation.
Constipation? Okay, she's
Yeah.
on the Miralax daily for
Yeah,
that? Okay.
yeah.
The hardest part, just having a child that can't speak. I know my wife feels the same way. That's to me, that's like the most painful part.
Abigail, look. Ab, look over here.
Abigail.
Abigail seems like she's doing really well, and then she'll get tired and she'll have a whole bunch of seizures, and it's like she's forgotten everything. It's like her brain resets itself.
Play music?
It's really the seizures that compounds her autism. We're counting on average about 50 a day, so she's getting a great big cocktail of garbage. This stuff's pretty mild compared to this stuff. This is called Onfi. This stuff here it's over $1,000 a bottle. My insurance covers 70%, so I get the joy of only paying over $300 a month just for this stuff.
Have you noticed any improvement with it?
We have, otherwise, believe me, for over $300 a month, she would have been off of it a long time ago. The whole situation makes me mad, but mostly just because how many 6-year-old kids are these neurologists putting on these heavy narcotics? I mean, this is as bad as if you were to go buy heroin off of the street. And that's the first thing that these doctors are trained to offer the kids. That's it. Good job. I hate it. The lump in my throat as I was reading. The side effects, man, I mean, may cause harm to yourself or others, may have rashy, irritated skin, may cause sleeplessness. And I've seen my daughter have some of these side effects. We're gonna need a lot of help for sure. I have no idea. I have no idea how we're gonna do it.
Do what?
Switch her diet. She refused just about everything except for like the goldfish and Doritos. So.
I just don't know. I don't know what it's gonna be like. I may get overwhelmed with it. But I'm truly at a point in my life where I'm afraid. I'm afraid that my chips have run out.
You breathe it in, and then you hold it, and then you breathe out. That's how that works.
I'm scared. I'm genuinely scared.
Debbie, you're about to change your diet. What are you most afraid of?
Failure.
We are all physiologically and genetically hunter-gatherers. We've only been consuming an agriculturally based diet now for maybe 500 generations or so versus more than 100,000 generations, not 100,000 years, but 100,000 generations on a largely meat and fat-based diet. We have the brains that we do because of the enormous amount of fat that we consume as a species throughout our evolutionary history. Suddenly now we're eating a carbohydrate-based diet. And in the last 13 or so generations, since this thing called the Industrial Revolution, this has just gone down a slippery slope.
You are the oldest culture on Earth, is the Yunga culture. 40,000 years. So anybody that has a go at us, don't talk to us unless you've got 40,000 years of research. Yeah? The American scientific expedition that came to Arnhem Land in 1948 showed that Yunga people were extremely robust. No chronic disease, great teeth, well-built, muscular. I remember Yunga in the 70s, ripple muscles, they were like supermen. I came back in '83 to see a population that was decimated.
Years ago, there was a commercial for a particular margarine.
That's not margarine, that's my sweet creamy butter.
This woman, who actually turned out to be Mother Nature, tasted it, and she said, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature, and made lightning happen and thunder. The fact is that processed food is not natural. That's trying to fool Mother Nature.
Should I get the trash bag out?
Probably.
We should be eating the foods that nature provides, not that are scientized, not that factories provide.
Pastaroni. What is pastaroni?
Pasta.
I guess. Even the name in and of itself tells you how highly processed it is. It's somebody's brand name.
Abigail, get down.
Any food preferences? I know you gave me the 3-day diet diary.
Those are her food preferences. SpaghettiOs, chicken nuggets, goldfish,
Goldfish is a normal.
Doritos,
What about drinks?
apple juice. Apple juice.
We've hijacked our taste buds with food-like substances that are not whole food, that are not real food.
Here's a good one. Imitation vanilla flavor. Propylene glycol, sodium benzoate, phosphoric acid. Doesn't that sound
I
lovely?
don't even know what it is.
Right.
The whole low-fat thing is completely wrong. So we're going to add more fat to the diet. I mean, good natural fats. That's avocados, olive oil, meat fats from pastured animals like beef tallow, duck fat, lard.
Having the federal government get behind the low-fat diet changed vastly the food system.
You know, companies flooded in with all their low-fat products, responding to this huge demand.
One of the most insidious things that market does for us, light. Light. Misspelled light is even worse than spelled correctly light.
Every single day now we have newfangled foods and food-like substances being introduced. And then on top of it, we're genetically modifying and adding chemicals and things that we have no way of adapting to.
There's added sugar in everything. Ketchup, sugar, juice for the grandkids, sugar, 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 corn syrup.
The applesauce is corn syrup?
High fructose corn syrup is the second ingredient.
I would have never guessed.
Fructose. It's not going to be anything in here. We have found a winner. You know what? Scratch that. There's sugar again.
That's something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Obviously, we will never again eat cereal in our lives.
Perfect. Get rid of it.
Bread and other grain-related products are really worrisome, A, because of their gluten issue, but most importantly, because of their carbohydrate content.
I don't even know if we need to say anything about this.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
Okay.
I call wheat the perfect obesogen. Food perfectly crafted to make you fat. Wheat is in all frozen dinners, all breakfast cereals, taco seasoning mixes, instant soup mixes, canned soup, salad dressings. In other words, of the 60,000 products in the average supermarket today, 59,000 have wheat.
There is nothing you can get at a grain that you can't get anywhere else. Not even close, in fact. Meat, seafood, vegetables, fruit, nuts and seeds, and eggs have so much more to give.
Maple and brown sugar, heart healthy. You know that can't be right, right?
Wheat was added 10,000 years ago, which sounds like a long time because it predates the Egyptian Empire, the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire. But 10,000 years represents less than 0.5% of human race's time on Earth.
We went from a diet that was 90%, meat and fat to suddenly relying on grains and legumes for the very first time in our evolutionary history.
These all gotta go. You know, when a label goes out of its way to tell you how healthy it is, like 100% whole grain, reduced fat.
By taking fat out,
You guarantee that people have to shift over to high carbohydrate foods. That's just what happens.
Fat is a critically important part of our diet, but we've got to be super selective because some fats are very threatening to our health.
The reason olive oil is so good is because you can get the oil out of the olive really easily. It's like cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil. But you take something like this poison.
In order to make packaged food, you need a fat that's solid and stable. So everything on a supermarket shelf, cookies, crackers, chips, need a hard fat, a solid fat. That's what gives it shelf life. If you get rid of butter, suet, tallow, lard, traditional fats, as our guidelines told us to do, what's left? Hardened vegetable oils, which is basically trans fats.
We don't want to use any of the vegetable oils like corn oil or safflower oil, soybean oil.
Vegetable oils are toxic. They're industrial oils. They are foods that we could not have manufactured until the industrial era. There are seeds that have oil in them, but that don't release their oil readily, so you have to use high heat and solvents to do so. That totally wrecks the molecules, destroys many of the antioxidants. It's a mangled, disgusting, smelly mess. Every cell in your body is wrapped in a membrane that's made out of about half fat and half protein. If the fatty acids comprising your cell membrane are unnatural, that cell membrane cannot function in the way that it's supposed to function. And that's the beginning of disease. It starts at the cellular level. Vegetable oils are acting like little miniature Trojan horses. Your body doesn't recognize them as not natural. It will make cell membranes, it'll make brain cells. But it's as if you were trying to build a house and your contractor said, well, we don't have any bricks, but we do have these little styrofoam balls. Let's go for it.
Did the food grow on the planet? Did it swim in the water? Did it run on land? That's food.
The one question I wish every single doctor on this planet would ask every single one of their patients is, what are you eating?